Professional man, when I was sleeping bad, I realized my cravings were doubled, my energy crashed, fat loss was almost impossible, and after 2 weeks of bad sleep, I was eating the same foods but losing 55% fat less. So in this video, I'll share the sleep routine that helped me lose 60 pounds and get a lean, muscular body. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm making a new video about weight loss every week. I used these strategies to lose 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it all for 13 years, and I've helped dozens of men just like you lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape the yo-yo dieting cycle. And if you're tired of constantly losing and gaining the same weight, I want to help you get to your healthy self without giving up the foods that you love. I'm sharing 7 tips that can help you sleep better, recover faster, and lose weight even faster. But before I do, I need to clarify that sleep is very important for you, because if you have good consistent sleep, that can help you improve your muscle building and also reducing the cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that impacts your weight loss in a way that if you have high stress hormone because of you sleeping 3 to 4 hours every week and also having a lot of stress from work, that makes it your body hold on to the fat stores, and that makes it very difficult for you to lose weight. So no matter how much you are eating in a calorie deficit, how much you are working out in the gym, it's just very impossible for you to get rid of this fat that is holding onto your waistline. For you professional men that you have this weight, feeling so unhealthy and not being able to talk confidently at work with clients, not having any focus with doing the presentation and missing out on career opportunities, this is so vital for you to have a consistent sleep routine where you're waking up the same time and also going to bed the same time, because that regulates your internal clock in the way that you are feeling less stressed when it comes to sleeping. Your body is just feeling that it is not putting so much efforts into trying to de-stress yourself late at night, and also helps you improve your overall quality of sleep. Sometimes it takes too long for you to go to sleep because you are going to bed different kind of time, and that fucks up your sleep routine and also increases your cravings. For example, when I was sleeping like 2-3 hours every single day because I was just having too much work, and that also going to the bathroom too many times because I was not sleeping right, I was drinking too much before I was going to sleep, that impacts my, for example, the next day with having a lot of cravings. So if I have a lot of cravings due to sleeping too bad, that puts me out of my calorie deficit. So in order for you men to lose weight overall, you need to maintain this calorie deficit of 300-400 calories with a proper diet, and you sustain that through a long period of time, enough for you to lose weight all around your body, and also have the 45% of your daily calories coming from high quality protein sources like whey protein, chicken, lean chicken breasts, ground beef, and also 40% of the daily calories coming from high quality carbs, wheat, potato, yams, oatmeal, whole wheat pasta, bread. Just by having these things in order can also make you stick to your weight loss diet even faster. But if you're not having a great sleep routine, no matter how great your diet is, you are going to fuck up your diet by binge eating late at night like I used to, because my sleep routine was just bad. So if you're trying to go to sleep the same day every single day, also on the weekends, it makes you feel refreshed and recovered after, for example, you've been working out in the gym and also, for example, going to work. If you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me in my client transformation at the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if we are fit to work together. The next sleep tip is that you need to associate your bedroom with sleep and having sex. So these two things are just awesome, and the reason why is, as a new professional man, if you associate something with your bedroom where you're just relaxing and it's a more comfortable place for you to be in, you are not taking everything of your stress and all your thoughts into the bedroom, and that sabotages your sleep routine. Because if you are very active and have a stimulated mind all the time from having your phone into, or you taking your computer into the bedroom, you are on the way that you're always active in the brain, and that makes it difficult for you to de-stress yourself by for example, making yourself sleep faster. So sometimes if I realize that I have my computer in my bedroom, I have also a problem with going to sleep because I thought that I need to check something, and that puts me out of my sleep routine. So sometimes when I'm trying to sleep, I am, for example, very conscious that I don't want to check my phone, because if I'm checking my phone, all the screen from lightning from the phone is just sabotaging my brain, and that makes me want to get more dopamine. For example, if I see notifications all the time, that fucks up my, for example, my concentration of trying to sleep, so it takes longer for me to fall into a deep sleep. So if you are a professional man and you really need that energy and focus and confidence, for example, going to work and just being able to be very mindful of what your clients are talking to you, and you probably just someone who's been struggling with that because you're not sleeping too much, it makes you feel that you are missing out on important stuff your clients are telling you. And if you need to go on a work trip and your boss is telling you that you're not able to do it because you are overweight, unhealthy, he doesn't believe in you. Sleeping more also makes your appearance, like having a better skin, and you look more fresh and healthy. And that also gives you the more opportunities just to carrying yourself with more confidence and having other people who can rely on you because they feel that you are a stable source of courage and also, for example, just competent. The third tip is you need to cut off all the lights from your electronics 30 to 60 minutes before you go into sleep, because if you are dimming the lights from the electronics, it's easier for you to, for example, sleep in a way that bright light suppresses the body's natural production of melatonin, and that is a very key hormone involved in regulating your sleep. So when melatonin increases when it gets dark and it's time for the body to sleep, allow yourself to nod off easily and stay asleep for longer. So instead of just watching TV, for example, before you go into sleep, that makes it difficult for you to sleep again. So maybe you should just lie in bed and chill, thinking, reflect, or you may be writing into your journal, because that's just very great to, for example, relax. And I also sometimes just listen to an audio book or maybe I read 30-60 minutes before I'm going to sleep, because there's not anything light from the screen, so it makes it easier to fall to sleep. I'd love to know what is your biggest takeaway so far from the video. Just comment below and let me know. The fourth tip is that you need to go to sleep that you are, for example, not feeling too hungry or too full. Sometimes when you are not having your diet in place, for example, you are eating way too less or having an aggressive calorie deficit, that makes it difficult for you to, for example, go to sleep because you're just feeling very hungry. And if you're not having a diet where you are not getting 40% of the calories coming from carbs, like high quality carbs, that is simple and complex carbs, and 20 to 40 grams of fibers, and drinking 4 or 5 liters of water, and having the 45% of the daily calories coming from protein, that makes it difficult for you to sustain this hunger and the cravings. If you are, for example, having a lot of cravings, that can be you not being able to sustain that. For example, if you have a lot of problem with hunger throughout the night, you are not setting your diet up in a way that you are reducing the hunger levels. Hunger levels is just a signal that if you are in a calorie deficit, you are just feeling way hunger. So if you are eating for example, a diet plan where you are getting a lot of veggies and high quality oatmeal and also whole wheat pasta and, for example, high quality protein sources, for example, 6 p.m. you are feeling fuller throughout the evening. And also if you're going to sleep 10 p.m. you are having your last meal 6 p.m. That could be some Greek yogurt and some berries that is slow digestible for you through the long night and makes you feel full and you're able to sleep more. Having a large meal is difficult for your body to digest, so you're not able to sleep too good. So the fifth tip is, as a professional man, you need to optimize your environment where you are sleeping. And I've been utilizing something that is like some dark curtains where I'm promoting very deep and restful sleep. So, and also have your temperature of the room around 60-70 degrees, and use black curtains or a sleeping mask to eliminate as much as light. And I've also been using some earplugs because I want to cancel out all the noise that can disrupt my sleeping patterns. And for example, if you feel like you need to have if you're snoring too much and it affects your partner who's sleeping with you, you need to go to a doctor and make sure that you get that shit dealt with. Sixth tip is you need to avoid caffeine or other stimulants like 6-7 hours before you go into sleep, because if you are having some caffeine in your system before going to bed, you are getting more adrenaline, and that makes you having a lot of trouble with falling to sleep, because even though you're very tired, there's the caffeine into your system that makes you like elevated and still stressed, that you have high alert, and de-stressing yourself from all the caffeine, maybe some decaf coffee if you really need some coffee, that makes it easier for you to fall asleep. And you also just want to stay away from tea. I've found that if I'm drinking too much tea, that going to the bathroom all the time, and that is just going to kill my sleep. And also, if you're drinking too much water throughout the day, like 4 or 5 liters of water to suppress your hunger level, that's good, but like limit it like 4 p.m. so you're not able to having any problem with that. 7, last tip is I recommend like 8 to 10 hours of sleep depending on how much workload you have in your daily life, because it's also depending on how you are as a person. You just need to sleep enough for you to feel refreshed and recovered, because if you are going to work out intensely with 4 or 5 times a week with the weight training and focusing on compound movement, isolation movements, it takes a toll on your nervous system. And if you are not having your nervous system recovered, you're just feeling depleted every single day when you're waking up, and you're not able to push yourself. In order to build more muscle, you have to focusing on, for example, progressive overload, where you are constantly adding more weight every single set. Let's imagine that you have 4 sets on each exercise. You are doing squats, so you are taking a one more set of 10 to 12 reps where you get some blood flow into your body, for example the muscle groups of the legs, and then you are trying to increase the weight. Let's imagine you start out with 10 kilos, then you go to 15 kilos, and then you wait 60 seconds and you're trying to 10-12 reps. You want to 1 to 2 reps before failure, because failure is just a sign of you pushing yourself till you're not able to do it more. So the way that you're working out intensely is just having this short rest period, and also having a good mind muscle connection where you're actually studying the video that you are targeting specific muscle groups. So when you are doing leg presses, you are trying to target the quads and having a good stimulation. So better having a good mind muscle connection to that and proper form. Maybe you're not able to increase all the time, but that's just easier. So if you are sleeping very badly, you're not able to push yourself, and if you're not able to push yourself, you're not able to build as much muscle mass, and if you're not able to build as much muscle mass, you're not losing weight faster. So these were the 7 tips that can help you sleep better, recover faster as a professional man trying to lose weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself. And if you are someone who resonated with the tips and been through a lot of struggling with sleeping, if you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me and my client transformation in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we see if we are fit to work together.